And off to the races we go. Welcome to Thursday. How are you? Right now, you would swear it's almost like a cool autumn morning if you're to step outside. 67 right now as you're waking up. Don't worry. It'll get a little warmer. We're starting to climb back into the 90s. We'll hit 93 this afternoon. And as we get toward the weekend, well, we could have a little dampness, which is welcomed. We need it. 60% chance of showers today and tomorrow. So that's what is up and coming. Let me back up on that. Friday and Saturday, I was a day ahead of myself. So the weekend could get a little rain. The ground will soak it up quickly. We'll look at all of that this morning. As we start today out, as we look at radar, absolutely nothing going on in the great state of Mississippi. As we look at Bama, we've got a little bit of fog there east of Birmingham and around Huntsville. We got fog up around just east of Chattanooga in these areas, and you get into Asheville, North Carolina. But we do have still some fire weather warnings here in Louisiana and a little bit of Texas around Lufkin, Beaumont area there. And Lord knows if you're driving through Beaumont this morning, watch that bridge. I'm sure they're still working on it. I went through there for 10 years, and each day they worked on it. I don't know what they're doing, but they love backing up traffic. I-10, you can't miss it in Beaumont. I guess it'll be a forever thing. How's everyone? I hope we got a good field, and we're up early today. Don Carney, good to see you. Miss Joy, good morning. Jerome Lee, Lisa Stokes, how are you? Miss Pike, I might say. Susie, good to see you also. And Christy Knapp. Fake fall may be the name for this. I got Odie investigating this as he sits to the side. Let me show you a picture of Odie. This man is all over this. He is ready for whatever happens today. We are looking into what is going on 8th Street. Now, we had a little fender bender yesterday afternoon there involving a Meridian police officer, and the street was blocked. But there's much more to this. They're doing some type of construction, and we'll get to the bottom of it and see if we can get an answer from officials today as to what's this is going to be at 39th by the old, it's by Calvary Church, by the old, on top of the hill there by the cemetery, by Rose Hill Cemetery. Blocked off from there toward the bottom of the hill. We'll see what we can find out on all of that to get the exact wording of that. All right, let's go to Collinsville. Why not? Let's get us a good word there from the church. Here we go to Collinsville First Baptist.
What are some of the things that you feel pretty certain of? The love of your spouse, your children, or your grandchildren? Maybe you've been vigilant to save for your retirement and you feel pretty certain that you're going to live comfortably in your retirement years. Maybe you look at the makeup of your favorite football team and you feel pretty certain about a winning or even championship season this year. We have levels of certainty about different things, and that's the way life is. In Romans chapter 8, verse 28, Paul says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." One of the things that we can be absolutely certain of is that God is working for our good. We live in a fallen world, and not everything that happens to us or around us is good, and some of the things are just downright awful. But God is sovereign, and in His sovereignty, He is working in all things, good or bad, for the good of those who love Him and have been called according to His purpose. Living by this great truth is more than just positive thinking or more than having a better outlook on life. It can literally change your life. God is the great orchestrator. He is perfectly aware of all that happens in the lives of His children and has the ability, desire, and purpose to bring about good things in our lives. Seeing life through this lens may not change your circumstances, but it can change the way you see life and what you believe about a God who desires to bring about good in and through your life. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Townsend, Mississippi, checking in. Joe Gully, how are you this morning? And Doug also brought this up. We'll show some pictures of it. We got several last night. Blue Moon. Yeah, makes you almost want to sing Blue Moon of Kentucky, Keep on Shining. A little Elvis or maybe a Bill Monroe tune for you, but we had the blue moon. It was beautiful. Maybe you got a chance to see it. It could still be hovering up above as daylight breaks, but we got some great pictures. We'll share that with you here in a little while. Chris Miller, good morning there. As we start this is always disturbing when you find out that a pet has been abused. And as we go to New Jersey, a home had over 100 dogs in it, 30 of those deceased inside the home as they find a 9-year-old boy living in this. The conditions were horrible. The little boy has been taken away from the family. 10 to 15 dogs have been taken to local vets. There's going to be charges for animal cruelty and endangerment. How could anyone live in this? The rest of us wonder, don't we? Maybe I don't want to know. I hope they're dealt with. Another person, as the federal government does not back down. Yes, sir, Bob, another person that walked into the Capitol on January the 6th is going to jail now. All types of charges are going to be put on this as they go through social media and track down anybody that was there. So put another one in the cap there for the government. AI. Now, I'm starting to learn a little bit about this, but artificial intelligence is what it is, and there's so many things that you can do with it. I don't even know it all, but of course you can take someone's voice and make a whole skit from it. Move actors. They can just mimic the whole thing. I even heard a thing this morning of Thank God I'm a Country Boy done to Hank Hill. Do y'all remember the TV show? It had Hank Hill singing the same thing. Sounded just like him. But the guy who helped invented this, did I say that right? Who helped invent this, has stepped away from the project from Google and says, "Rump-row, bad guys are going to use this." And I think he's right. He said it was started for all the right reasons to do great things, but he said with everything that is good, bad people get a hold of good products and they use them in the wrong way. Y'all can expect this. Now, where does all this go? I don't know. Voice recognition and beyond is the first thing. But pay attention to this, especially when somebody that helps invent something says that they're afraid it's going to be used in the wrong way. And it very well could be. A Florida mom in jail. What did she do? She tried to hire a hitman online to take out her 3-year-old child. There is no place deep enough for a person like this. I'll leave it at that this morning as we look at a few of those headlines. And as we all know, the hurricane has struck Florida as it is coming out on the other side at this point. Winds this morning still moving along. I believe it was at 58 miles an hour this morning at 4 a.m. when I sat down. Still strong to have gone all the way across Florida. We'll have more details on that and look at the radar here in just a moment to show you more about that. Right now, as when we talk about bad weather, let's get into that. Any word on the fire in Martin? Yes, we got all those stories coming up at 7 o'clock this morning about the fire that was there. Good morning from Quitman. Chip Ledbetter. Hadn't seen you in person in years. The Ledbetters. I hope Chip's doing well there. It's been a while there. Jeff Lewis, good morning. Good to see you also. We're going to check this forecast in just a moment and talk about the hurricane that did cut across Florida. All that's up and coming as we start this morning. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Welcome back, and I was looking at this this path of this storm. My, oh, my, oh, my. Let's pull this up where you can take a look at this. As this has come across Florida, here's where we are this morning. Let's zoom in on this. It is already back out at sea as we look at this, traveling at 58 miles an hour, wind gust of 69 miles an hour. The millibars are at 991 this morning, moving east-northeast at 21 miles an hour. As you'll see this pass, it come through Valdosta, Georgia, cut up by Savannah, and then back out to see the way it went there. There's a lot of damage. There's a lot of folks without homes. But if you'll see this, as this keeps turning, man alive. Franklin picks up here at a Category 1 this morning. That's downgraded from a Level 4 Franklin. They all kind of run together at this point. But nasty out there as we'll look at this. And we'll look at the what is coming off the coast of Africa this morning. We've got more of these storms. Nothing yet affecting the Gulf, thank heavens. Still a fire watch. We'll look at that also. Let's get deeper into this forecast.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The record lows and record highs, 1951, 104 on this day. We're nowhere near that this morning, thank heavens. Our 1968 low was 55 degrees. We're not too far from that. It's 67. Okay, maybe it's 12 degrees or so. Wrong. It sounded good when it come through my head. Oh, well, I was wrong on that. As we look at the highs today, we're looking for 90 to 91 Meridian. We might see 89 in Philadelphia and Columbus Air Force Base as we get into Starkville, those areas. About 87 to the south. We'll see 92 in Brookhaven, even down in Natchez, where all the homes are. About 91 today. As we go east into Bamaland, we showed 91 there on the river in Demopolis. We should see right at 90 at Livingston, 88 Tuscaloosa. A little cooler there in Birmingham at 86. Now, the wildfire conditions. Although we had a smidgen of rain the other day, it is still not safe to burn. Burn bans are still into effect, and as you'll see here, the Meridian area and south and west through Newton, back to Jackson and out through the Mississippi Delta, we're at an elevated threat. Open burning is discouraged. And again, we've got a burn ban here, so don't do it. North of here, including Philadelphia, Kemper County, and Neshoba County, all the way Noxubee County and forward to all of this, we will see that it's a limited threat. Still not a time to burn. One thing could spark and get out of hand, and next thing you know it, we've got a problem on our hands. Y'all look at this, it's scary. That just says hot weather is on the way, doesn't it? This is the forecast over the next 6 to 10 days as we look at this each day, is how the temperatures change across the United States. And definitely hot weather. We've got another extreme round making its way across northern Texas toward Arkansas and Mississippi, Louisiana. It'll be here. Now, here's our outlook. Now, y'all see Saturday's high? It's going to make you go zippity-doo-dah. It's going to be good. As we see today, 90, 89 tomorrow with a 60% chance of rain. Saturday, we're somewhere in between a 50 to 60% chance of rain, but a high only of 82. It will be, as it was said a moment ago, a false sense of fall being here. 82. It'll be a great day to work outside if you've got something going on, though. 88 on Sunday, and then we start seeing this trend go up. By next Tuesday, we're at 92, 94. And then as we move forward on that, we're getting back close to the triple digits. 97, 98. That's that hot front, that hot weather moving in from Texas there all the way through the 11th. And by the 14th, we're still mid-90s, 94, 95, all the way through September the 14th. Now, y'all don't forget, we've got a Labor Day weekend coming up. Extra state troopers. We don't want anybody to forget that. Now, here's what we're looking at from the National Hurricane Center this morning. As we said, we've got 58 miles an hour coming from Adelia as she's made her way. Franklin's still at 98, 965 megabars. A 30% chance here on this storm becoming something. Jose, tropical storm there at 40 miles an hour. Millibars at 10, 11. And as we come off this coast of Africa, another one is forming, and it's got a 70% chance of making it. It's a lot happening in those waters, but if you'll notice here, the Gulf, still good. We're not going to complain one bit. We'll take that. As we move forward to look at the fishing forecast, what is getting good? It looks like a major time was earlier this morning, right at midnight. Now, your next time is going to be this afternoon, 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock. Northeast wind around 5 miles an hour will be the perfect time to get out and do that. We want to remind you that the governor is dropping by today. We'll have the governor live in studio with us this afternoon, a little after 2, somewhere between 2:15 to 2:30, depending upon how travel time works out. You'll be able to ask questions to the governor. We'll go back over this at the top of the hour also. But a big deal to have the governor come see us, and we're glad. It's one of these where you get to see the candidate. You always hear the guy that sits over in Jackson, Mississippi. Well, it's real. He'll be here. You'll be able to hear from his own words what's going on in the state of Mississippi. We'll ask some of your questions as well. We invite you to be a part of this. Again, we'll go live this afternoon around 2:15 to 2:30 in that time zone. We'll let you know. We'll post that as we get closer to that. Good morning from Dalewood. Joseph, how are you today? I see as we go up here, and Lynette says stay hydrated. You have to be. Clark County joining us there also. Marion, Sandy Johnson, how are you doing there? Decatur jumps in. Miss Kathy, how are you doing? So glad you could be a part of this. Donna, Miss LaWanda's with us as well, all the way from Hickory. Daphne, good to see you as well. Now, we're coming back live in roughly, I think, about 10 minutes. We'll go back live. Odie's here, as you've seen. We'll be ready to tackle the day and let you know what's happened in the last 24 hours. Did we mention boo-boos and wrecks? Oh, boy, we've had quite a few over the last 24 hours. We'll give you the details of what's going on. And I want to remind you also, if you're coming into Meridian this morning, There's been reports, I've gotten several reports of it, a gentleman on the right-hand side of the road, if you're coming down from the Evangel Temple, before you get to the White Castle, a guy that was on the guardrail there, kind of leaning over it, wavering, and with it being this early in the morning, it's easy to bump somebody. So if you're coming into town to Meridian from the Evangel Temple Way, Highway 45 South, watch that. We don't want anybody injured this morning. It could turn into something a lot worse than it is. So just be on your eyes and ears as you come down that hill there. More on the way as we start your day at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scoty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: